Hello, space explorers, and a massive high energy welcome to Galaxy to Garden. I am so incredibly excited that you are here today because we are about to go on the absolutely most epic cosmic safari you could ever possibly imagine. That's right, we are stepping right inside our very own magical time traveling spaceship today. We're going to rocket past glowing stars, we're going to dodge flying space rocks, and we are going to visit the absolute wildest, most colorful planets in our entire solar neighborhood. Are you wearing your anti-gravity boots? Because trust me, you are gonna need them. So go ahead and buckle up those seatbelts, put on your shiny space helmets, and get completely ready for a trip that is literally going to blow your mind. But wait, hold on just a second. Before we can launch this massive ship into the great unknown, I have a very, very important question for you. Are you ready to blast off? Are you really ready? Because if the answer is yes, I need you to do me a massive favor right this second. I need you to reach out and completely smash that like and subscribe button. Did you know that every single time someone hits subscribe, it literally powers up our spaceship's hyperdrive thrusters? It is totally true. The more likes we get from awesome explorers like you, the faster we can fly through the galaxy. All right, the thrusters are glowing red hot, the engines are roaring. I need you to count down with me at the absolute top of your lungs. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, blast off. All right, stop number 1, the fiery engine birth of our sun. Our very first stop in the time machine is the blazing, fiery center of our solar system. We've actually traveled billions of years back in time to see exactly how our incredible cosmic neighborhood got its start. And spoiler alert for you, it all begins with the biggest, hottest, most important star in our entire sky. It's a completely amazing fact that our giant, glowing sun didn't always look like a perfect round ball of fire. Nope. Billions of years ago, it used to just be this massive, messy, swirling cloud of floating space dust and gas just kind of hanging out in the freezing dark. But then, over millions of years, something completely invisible called gravity started pulling all of that dust together. Gravity just squeezed it and squished it. Come on, squish it with me. Squish, squish, squish. It pulled tighter and tighter, getting hotter and hotter until, boom, a massive fiery star ignited. That is our sun, acting as the super hot engine that keeps absolutely all the planets spinning around today. Moving right along to section 2, building a rocky planet. So now that we have a massive, glowing sun right in the center of our solar system, we have a little bit of a messy situation on our hands. You see, the sun didn't use up all the dust and rocks. There is a ton of leftover space rubble just floating around, bumping into the dark, just waiting to become something absolutely awesome. Building a planet is basically like playing the wildest, craziest game of space bumper cars you have ever seen. First, you have all these tiny rocks floating around in orbit. Then they start crashing into each other. Can you make a giant crashing sound with me right now? Smash! Crash! But here's the cool part. Instead of bouncing off each other, they actually stick together. It's kind of like rolling a giant snowball down a hill. It just picks up more snow and gets bigger and bigger. All these rocks smash and stick together like a giant, messy cosmic pizza, until eventually they build a giant, round, rocky planet. Next up, Section 3, Earth and its wild moon. All right, explorers, hold on tight to your space seats because we're firing the thrusters again and flying closer to a planet you might just recognize. It's our home, Earth. But I really have to warn you, the Earth we are visiting right now is from a long, long time ago, and it was a super bumpy, incredibly dangerous, and very, very hot ride back then. It wasn't full of beautiful blue oceans and nice green trees. Nope, no way. Early on, Earth was basically a super hot, melted, layered cake floating in space. Imagine this recipe. About 40% of the planet was this crunchy outside layer called the crust. Then another 40% was the gooey, super hot rock inside called the mantle. Then you go deeper, and 10% is a sizzling hot liquid outer core, and the final 10% is a totally solid metal inner core right at the very, very center. It was just bubbling, boiling, and completely wild to look at. Now, I want you to imagine this.
Early Earth is just minding its own business, bubbling away like a hot pot of soup, when suddenly, out of the dark, deep space, smash! A massive, giant space rock slams right into our planet. And you guys, this rock wasn't just some tiny little pebble you'd find in your driveway. Oh no, it was absolutely gigantic. It was about the size of the entire planet Mars. It was literally the biggest cosmic car crash you could ever possibly imagine, sending millions of tons of hot, glowing rock just blasting out into the starry sky.
So, what in the universe happened to all that blasted rock? Well, it didn't just fly away forever and disappear. All that leftover dust and debris from that epic crash actually created rings that spun all the way around the Earth, almost like a giant glowing hula hoop. Over time, they started playing that bumper car game again, and those pieces clumped and stuck together. And guess what? That leftover crash dust became the beautiful, glowing moon we see shining in our night sky today. How incredibly cool is that? Mystery solved. And here is an absolutely amazing fact for you. Did you know the moon is actually the reason we have ocean tides down here on Earth? It's completely true. It's like the moon is playing an invisible game of tug of war with our oceans every single day. Let's keep moving. Section 4, Galactic Neighborhoods. Okay, it is time to fire those thrusters yet again. We are officially leaving our street and looking at the big picture of the galaxy. Did you know that our solar system is actually split into two totally different neighborhoods? It's literally like having a warm summer neighborhood and a freezing winter neighborhood right next to each other in space. In the inner neighborhood, right up close to the blazing sun, we have the cozy, warm, rocky planets. That's Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. You could actually land a spaceship and stand right on them. But if you travel way, way out into the dark, you enter the outer neighborhood. Out there, the planets are giant, they are freezing cold, and they are made almost entirely of swirling gas and ice. If you tried to land your spaceship on them, you would literally just sink right through the clouds. There's no ground to stand on. Next stop, Section 5, Exploring the Red Planet. Before we head out into that freezing deep space, let's take a super quick pit stop at our closest rocky neighbor in the inner neighborhood. We just have to see what makes this next planet so incredibly special and honestly, so very, very colorful. We're talking about Mars. Can any of you super smart explorers guess why absolutely everyone calls Mars the red planet? Come on, yell it out at the screen right now. I want to hear you. It's because its entire surface is covered in something called iron oxide. Do you know what iron oxide is here on Earth? It's rust. That's right. The entire planet is essentially covered in rusty, dusty orange and red dirt. It even has rusty dust storms that can cover the whole entire planet. And here is another incredible space fact. Did you know Mars has the biggest volcano in the entire solar system? It's called Olympus Mons, and it is 3 times taller than Mount Everest. That is massively huge. All right, moving to Section 6, Jupiter and stunning Saturn. Okay, team, shields up because we are blasting off all the way to the outer neighborhood right now. We are officially entering the realm of the absolute biggest monsters in our entire cosmic safari. The wild, stormy gas giants. First up is the absolute king of the planets, Jupiter. And we actually know a whole lot about how beautiful it is thanks to a very brave robotic spaceship named Juno. The Juno spacecraft flew super, super close to Jupiter. It dove right through intense radiation just to peek deep beneath its swirling, colorful, incredibly stormy clouds. And speaking of storms, did you know Jupiter has a giant storm called the Great Red Spot that has been swirling around for hundreds of years? It is literally bigger than our entire planet Earth. Just one storm. So just how gigantic is Jupiter overall? I want you to yell out your best guess right now. Go ahead, yell it out. Louder. Are you ready for the actual answer? 1,300. If Jupiter were a giant hollow cookie jar, you could fit 1,300 Earths inside of it. That is absolutely 100% mind-blowing. You could fit every single ocean, every mountain, every single person on Earth inside Jupiter 1,000 times over, and you would still have room for an extra cosmic dessert. Let's keep this awesome energy high, explorers, because we are steering the spaceship toward my personal favorite site in the whole galaxy. We are heading to the planet that rocks the most famous, most glamorous hula hoop in all of space. Get ready. Here comes Saturn. Saturn is a total, absolute showstopper. Those famous, beautiful rings you see? Well, they look completely solid from far away, almost like a glowing racetrack around the planet. But if you fly right up to them in our spaceship, you'd see they're actually made of billions and billions of pieces of flying ice, dust, and space rocks all racing around the planet. Some are as tiny as a little grain of sand, and some are as massive as a whole mountain. Plus, Saturn has super fast, crazy winds that whip around the planet at over 1,000 miles per hour. That is way faster than a speeding jet airplane. Final stop, Section 7, the story of tiny Pluto. Okay, team, I need absolutely everyone to grab their thickest, warmest space jackets right now. We are flying to the absolute freezing, icy, pitch-dark edges of the solar system to solve a very famous space mystery. We are looking for a little world called Pluto. Now, you might have heard that Pluto used to be called a regular planet, but then scientists gave it a brand new name. They called it a dwarf planet. But why did they do that? Well, a dwarf planet is a round space rock that orbits the sun, just exactly like Earth does, but it's just too small and weak to push other rocks and icy comets out of its way. It basically hasn't cleaned up its room in space. But listen, even though Pluto got a name change, it absolutely doesn't mean we love it any less. Pluto is still totally awesome. It's just a little bit smaller than the rest. It has giant ice mountains. It even has a giant heart-shaped glacier right on its surface. And it is a truly magical part of our cosmic neighborhood. It proves you absolutely do not have to be the biggest to be super cool. Wow, what a crazy ride. Let's do a super quick, highly colorful recap of all the amazing things we saw on our time-traveling safari today. We started out with the blazing, fiery sun getting squished together by gravity. Then we dodged the rocky planets. Who remembers what happened to the rocky planets? Yell it out. That's right, they played giant bumper cars in the inner neighborhood. We braved the massive swirling storms of the gas giants, and we brought our big jackets to visit the freezing dwarf planets at the very edge of town. And you know what the absolute best part of all of this is? This is just our little neighborhood. Space is endlessly, massively huge, and our cosmic neighborhood is full of amazing mysteries that haven't even been solved yet. There is so much more out there beyond our planets, just hiding out in the dark, waiting for curious, amazing space explorers exactly like you to grow up and discover them. Well, space explorers, it's sadly time to bring our Galaxy to Garden spaceship all the way back down to Earth. But before you take off your shiny space helmets, I really want to hear from you. Which planet that we visited today is your absolute favorite? Do you love the giant wild storms of Jupiter? Or maybe the rusty red dirt of Mars? Or maybe, just maybe, the shiny icy rings of Saturn? Tell us right down in the comments below. Thank you so much for exploring the galaxy with us today on Galaxy to Garden. Don't forget to keep looking up at the stars, absolutely smash that subscribe button, and we will see you on the very next epic adventure. Bye, everyone!